at this point, just let's just cancel 2020. You can't salvage this. There's too many things. It's only April, man. It's only goddamn April, and we've already had Kobe Bryant dying. We've had a pandemic. We've had sports going away. People losing jobs, unemployment, all that. It's been a crazy past couple months. I'm not even gonna hold you guys. Now, again, me on a personal level, how have I been affected by this stuff? Well, it's been pretty bad actually. I'm not even gonna hold you. The whole Kobe thing kind of had me messed up. Then I had some personal stuff going on. Life has just been crazy. But since we're doing this video, I might as well tell you guys to check out my other videos and shit. Just check those out. They're pretty good. I spent a good amount of time editing those, so I'd really much appreciate it if you guys went ahead and respected me. But you know what? You don't have to. It's cool. I understand how it goes sometimes. It is what it is. But anyways, on to the topic of the video, coronavirus. At first I didn't want to mention coronavirus because I heard people are getting demonetized, and then I was worried for like 2 seconds before I realized, bro, you're not making no money off of this at all, so it really doesn't even matter. So it is what it is. But yeah, the coronavirus. I'm not going to give you guys a biology lesson in terms of what it is, or like the family of viruses and this, that, and the third. But all you need to know basically is there's multiple strains of coronaviruses. This is just the latest one, but the difference is that this one is incredibly contagious, very virulent. I should know how to say that word because I study biology and shit. But you know what? Fuck that. Anyways, so yeah, it's very contagious. It gets around quickly. It spreads very quickly. That's how things pretty much just went to shit so quickly, because the thing is that people are acting like we were so totally like blindsided by this virus, but the reality is that scientists have been speaking about a possibility of something like this occurring since at the very least early 2000s, but even before that, it's just common sense. Like our world is becoming more interconnected. With long distance flights, people traveling, all types of stuff. It was only a matter of time until there was this virus that was very contagious and infected large groups of people very quickly, and then spread across the whole world very quickly. But what the craziest thing is? As scary as whatever is going on right now, the scariest things about this whole viral situation is how governments of the world have handled this situation. The first thing that they jump to do is a few things. One, they lied about it. Two, I guess one, they actually kept it a complete secret from everyone who wasn't a top official. It's not just the United States and China that did that shit. As contrary to popular belief, this seems to be common around the world for a lot of large developing nations, even developing nations, and especially developing nations and first world nations and all that. Because China did this shit, we did this shit in the United States. A few countries in Central America, Europe especially, they did this shit as well, where they're not reporting numbers, or they're misreporting, or they're just not fucking like testing at all to keep the numbers down, or whatever they decide they want to do. But yeah, the scariest thing about this whole situation is the fact that governments jump to, like I said, not telling the citizens, and then once it's already spread and doing its spreading and doing its rounds, now all of a sudden it's the lying. Now it's just the flu, we'll get over it, it's not that serious, it's not that deep, let's go business as usual. That's an escalating level of scary, because you realize that these politicians know exactly the extent of what's going on, but they're more willing to protect their image and hope things blow over than they are to educate the masses and maximize the amount of people that live. And then again, we can even take it a level above that, where you have the citizens that are defending the politicians that are doing hiding of this information, which is the part that really fucking blows my mind. It's like, how can you continue to defend an individual who put not only your life at risk, but your entire family, your community, everyone that you know and love in danger? but you're refusing to admit that you're wrong, or even just to put that, not even, you don't even have to go that far. You could just put that politician on, out on trial. Be like, yo, this is not, obviously not literally, but you could just be like, hey, this is wrong, take responsibility for this. But you don't really see that. You just see deflection. Yeah. So they wouldn't even address the fact that, their favorite politician lied. It was, but well, the other side would do it too. That's where we are right now in this world, and it's kind of scary. And it's funny when people look at me and they're like, Randy, why are you so pessimistic when it comes to things like this? And I'm pessimistic because people prove me right every single day. So is it really pessimism? But anyways, so yeah, they hide, then they lie, and then once they finish lying, one more thing before I continue, you have the politicians that learn about these things in secret and then move to protect their assets while lying to the public and their constituents. That's terrible. But anyways, after they're done lying about it, they turn around and they start panicking. They start doing a whole bunch of little things here and there, not really committing to any one thing, but dipping their toes into a lot of different things, hoping something would stick. That's kind of what Donald Trump does and is doing right now, and a couple other politicians, so that when they're wrong, they just ignore it, and then when they're right, they flaunt it, and then they parade it and be like, oh, well, I supported this, so I'm right, I'm great, I'm a great leader. And again, the worst part isn't necessarily what these dicks are doing, these fucking political dicks. It's the people who support them and vote for them. You know what I mean? It's what you get when you have a two-party system. It's either them or us kind of situation, where you have two massive groups of people that have pretty much a huge sway into where the country goes, that just refuse to budge. And that's the shit that is annoying. And more so the conservatives, because with the Democrats and Republicans tend to be largely conservative with a little bit of centralism here and there, liberalism, libertarianism, stuff like that. But with Democrats, you have a lot of variability. There we go. A lot of variability. I can't even speak. Don't blame me. Shut up. It's 1 a.m. But anyways, you have a lot of variability with where people tend to be on that political spectrum, and it's more variable than what you see on the right with the Republicans and GOP and stuff like that. And that fucking becomes a problem during elections, because also, there's you can look this stuff up as well, is that people, the GOP, their constituents tend to be very fucking solid in terms of who they're voting for. They're not changing for nobody generally. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that all of them, but generally that tends to be the case, more so than the other side, is what I'm trying to say. So when you have a Democrat that does some shady shit, there's a lot more people that are more willing to, kind of turn around and vote for the other side, if they're not really feeling comfortable, such as Hillary Clinton in 2016 and Bernie Sanders. You had a lot of people who wanted Bernie Sanders. You had a lot of people voting for Hillary Clinton. But the thing is that Hillary Clinton was such a piece of fucking shit, that her people who were going to vote for her were going to vote for her regardless. But the people who went for Bernie, either one, didn't vote, or two, voted for Donald Trump. And I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like GOP. I don't like Republicans. I don't like conservatives generally. I'm not at that side of the political spectrum. But I call it how it is. Why? Because I literally lived with someone that did that shit. It blows my mind. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's that situation. This wasn't even supposed to be political. The main thing that I'm trying to say is that when it's the end of the world situations, people show their true colors. You see stuff like this all the time in video games, like Resident Evil, or movies like Dawn of the Dead or something. And you see how people react in there, how officials react. And it's just kind of like things just fall apart really quickly. And then you always think, oh, this is crazy, but you never really think real life is going to work like that. Everyone has their end of the world scenario where you're like, oh, you know what? If things fall apart, this is how I'm going to react. As if you had all the time in the world. Like, hey, I'm going to go to the store, I'm going to get all these guns, I'm going to go get some tanks, I'm going to do this, that, and the third. But the reality is that things will fall apart very quickly. even though that's kind of expected / unexpected, because you know you expect this to happen, but then when it happens, you're kind of like, holy shit. And then you realize, holy shit, I'm not really as prepared for this as I thought. And that's where everybody is right now. You know what I mean? We all thought, hey, we all knew in the back of our minds, if you ask anybody about it, you know, a virus like this, we're like, yeah, you know, society will kind of fall apart, but we never really prepared for that. You know what I mean? And it's hard to, especially because the reality is that most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, so you're not exactly putting a stash of guns and food and this, like, and stuff like that in the bunker and preparing for the worst. Like, that's not happening, you know, for the vast majority of people. So, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, man. But anyway, this is part 1 to my rant. Nah, I'm just fucking with y'all. That's just what I need to get off my chest. If you guys have any suggestions about what I should make my next video on, most likely probably won't take at least for the next video, but I probably will at some point. You can put it down in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Let me know how this mic sounds. This is the exact same mic I've been using before, but slightly different setup. But anyways, thank you guys for listening, and yep.
BT.